Hello, everyone. Welcome to Joe Consume Cinema. I'm your host, Ron Stallworth, and today we have a first time movie reaction to the 2020 film Tenet. Now, I don't really know a whole lot about this. I do know that John David Washington is in this. We just saw him in Black Klansman, and as I was doing the intro discussion for that reaction, I brought up Tenet and said we should watch it, so here we are. I haven't seen like a trailer or anything like this, but I have seen like a still shot, and it had John David Washington. He was in a suit, and I believe he had a gun. It was like a long time ago when I saw it. It's a 2020 film. Only using that and the title to go off of, I would guess that this is an action film, which is, always right up my alley. And Tenet, like a religious tenet, I don't know, like a very strict rule that you have to adhere to. So yeah, I don't know. Some type of action film, which I'm always down for, and I don't know what Tenet means just yet, but we're gonna find out. But as always, please remember to blank, blank, and blank. Channel's doing really well. We have officially launched the Joe Consume Cinema Patreon. I am working through my Mr. Robot Season 2 reactions right now. I'm gonna do the entire show. So every member of my Patreon gets a guaranteed movie request. That right there is worth it, I think. Also, I have the first season of The Penguin. I really liked it. And the first season of Mr. Robot, I really liked it. I'm gonna go all the way through every episode of Mr. Robot until I finish the show, and then my patrons will discuss with me what we plan on watching next. It's because of Patreon that I get to do this full time, so if you'd consider becoming a patron, I'd really appreciate it. With that, let's get right to the movie. Okay, that escalated quickly. They have different patches to hide their identity, and they're all masked. They're gassing the place. Okay, so this hostage situation is a distraction. They're looking for someone.
We live in a twilight world.
And there are no friends at dusk.
You've been made. This siege is a blind for them to vanish you.
Established contact.
Bring you in or kill you. Have 2 minutes. Make up your mind.
The man could be trained, hold out for about 18 hours. And what are you counting on this? Death. CIA issue. Running fast. Get it out!
Wow, I have so many questions. He survived that? I thought it was cyanide.
Suicide pills are fake.
A test.
I resign.
You don't work for us. You're dead, Tenet. Use it carefully. It'll open the right doors, but some of the wrong ones, too.
Okay, so CIA involved in some serious work in Ukraine, special ops, that type of thing. Also, there was a moment during the actual hostage situation where he had a gun on him, and it looked like a bullet was fired through something. Like you saw the bullet hole, and then it reversed. So I'm wondering if we're also dealing with a little bit of time travel. And Tenet is a code word for something, whatever he's involved in now. It's definitely interesting.
As I understand it, we're trying to prevent World War III.
Nuclear holocaust.
No, something worse.
Symptom.
Amy.
Very hard man to meet.
The drawing is his hold over me. He threatened me with police, prison. He made me an offer. Let me go if I agreed never to see my son again. Glimpsed some other woman diving off the boat and he'd vanished. You know how I dream of just diving off that boat?
Give me an introduction. I'll take the drawing out of the equation. Friends of your husband's? There's a number in your left coat pocket. Don't call from home.
Fight in the kitchen. Classic. Hit him with the fucking cheese grater. Oh, God. Ow.
I think you guys what he wants.
Not always, apparently.
I like the fight choreography. Very good.
Told you I'd surprise you. Anything.
Anything legal.
But it's not unlike the Swiss banking system.
Oh shit. That was fucking close.
Don't touch them. It hasn't happened yet.
It's about to happen. Oh my god.
Digging plutonium from the rubble of my city as a teenager. Staked my claim in the new Russia.
Alright, I have a theory now that I have had more time to think about it. So that terrorist attack at the Opera House, the guy that saved him, he took note of the backpack and the little Dazzly thing, whatever it was, on his backpack. I think that's him, because we've already established that this inversion, you know, time travel, whatever, it works on everything, people too.
Why didn't you just let me go?
If I can't have you, no one else can. Not now! Not bad for such exertion. My property shouldn't concern you, but we do live in a twilight world.
I spring the material. You pay me off. And your wife does the exchange.
That's clever. So they're tracking with GPS, so they can't stop, otherwise, you know, help will come. Instead, they just, you know, do this, where they pancake them and they keep driving. Yeah, they can't get out. This is why I wanted a fire truck.
That's what he's after. Not a stone one. Backwards.
Oh shit. Wow. That was fucking close.
If you're not telling the truth, she dies.
You left it in the car, not the fire truck, right?
I left it in
We're
the
going to
BMW.
check this is real.
Car or fire truck, which one?
Okay, so he saw his other self and then threw it in his car. What the hell is it?
So they hand up. You made me shoot her for nothing.
They said fire will feel like ice forming.
District without consequence.
Yeah, it's a lot to try and wrap your mind around. I do like the fact that the film is embracing, you know, the absurdity of the whole time paradox. This is why anytime you introduce this trope in a film, it always gets messy really, really quick.
We move.
Was he shot and he just didn't realize it?
Bleeding. Let me take a look at it.
They're going back to it. He was fighting himself here. I was right. And he shoots himself too. Or, well, his inverted self. That's why they were so evenly matched. He checked to make sure he saw himself before he went through. I'm guessing this is why Robert Pattinson... Man, this is so trippy. They're... The two teams with the armbands is a very good idea, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to distinguish easily on the battlefield. Even still, it's not so easy. Blue team's coming in just as red team is evacuating, so they're seeing it from the end of the strike. I like it. Wait a minute, is that Chris Pattinson's character, the boy? Oh my god, is that what that was hinting at the end? Oh, I gotta look that up. Okay, took some time just to gather my thoughts, so that was Tenet. It was amazing. Sci-fi action thriller, very, very well done. Crazy, crazy concept with the inverting of time and like all the weird fight scenes, trying to keep your head wrapped around it. Not easy, but definitely enjoyable. Really, really good film. Obviously, John David Washington had the best performance, but also Robert Pattinson was really cool too. Right off the bat, things start off with, the terrorist situation in the opera house in Ukraine. It's moving like a mile a second. It's just nonstop, and it finally lets you breathe like after like 15-20 minutes of that. There's some hints along the way of what's going on. What's her name's memory of the day when her husband told her that awful thing of, I'll let you go, but you have to leave our son, just a monster of a character. And she saw the woman dive off. In the end, that's her at the end of the film. The little keychain on the backpack or whatever it was, that was Robert Pattinson's character. I noticed it because it was like all of a sudden there's, a bullet wound in the floor and there's no gunshot. And I was like, what was that? That was weird. And sure enough, that guy that had the backpack turned out to be Robert Pattinson's character. And it's just like throughout the film, they're playing like Time Cop, if you've ever seen that movie. And, one of the things with using the time travel trope is you eventually run into a time paradox. You can't have that trope without running into the paradox. It's inevitable. So they talk about it in the film. I believe they call it the grandfather paradox, where if you traveled back through time and killed your own grandfather, how would you have, come to be in order to be able to do that? And the basic assumption there is that the past, present, and future are all linked. But what if they weren't? Right? So with this movie, the inverted technology, they describe it like the woman that comes up with it in the future is like the Oppenheimer of her time, except she decides to actually do something to stop it. So there are 9 components to this thing. She separates them and puts them in like nuclear facilities throughout time, because they're like really, really secure. And this is a way to ensure that this technology doesn't get used for the ultimate end where they want to reverse the flow of time. And apparently the future is like super dystopian. Their oceans rose as their rivers ran dry. So like climate disaster, I'm guessing. So from their perspective, the future generation, their only chance at an actual future is to reverse the flow of time because things are just so screwed up for them that that's their only shot. And yeah, like this cataclysmic event will happen. This Russian oligarch who's just insane views his death because whenever that Russian oligarch character dies, this will trigger the event that will reverse time. Everyone living in the present, it will be like an nihilistic moment. Everything will be wiped out. But for the people in the future, they'll finally be able to start going through time in a way where things are getting better. Again, just such a dystopian future that everything's so screwed up that they're just incredibly desperate. They said each generation does what's in its own best interest, and no exception there for them. But yeah, I just really love the film. It's one that's difficult to kind of wrap your head around, but once you start talking it through, it makes more sense. It made sense in the moment. I just loved, the reveals throughout, because originally I thought Robert Pattinson's character was, like a double agent or something because he let that one guy go. We later see that it's John David Washington's character. I'm sorry, I don't actually remember the character names because the pace was just so chaotic and just like nonstop, just dun 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 dun, like, so I don't actually remember the character names, but it was a really, really good movie. I don't know who directed this, but they did a really good job. But yeah, I think this is the film for me that kind of solidified John David Washington as, a real star. He was funny, charming, charismatic, definitely believable as a CIA agent. Constant line throughout the film, really enjoyed it, was "I'm the protagonist." And at the end, he kind of solidifies that point, saying, "I wasn't working for you," with the arms dealer lady from India, I believe. He wasn't working for her. He was working for himself, and he just didn't know it the whole time. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. I like that moment. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. So as always, thanks for watching, and peace.